Just kind of your generic thoughts on getting to play a little more basketball this season.
I'm really excited. You know, we got a chance to get away for a few days and reset. And, you know, I think there's a ton of stress and just a grind of a season. And for our guys to come in these last, 8-9 days and practice and have fun together and compete, it's just been really refreshing. And I'm excited that we get to go get another chance to tip it up.
We obviously don't need to kind of go over the guys who have left, but obviously it does create opportunities for some more players. Just specifically when it comes to maybe Parker and Case, where do you kind of see maybe their opportunities growing and having a chance to play extended minutes? And maybe, obviously you need a couple starters to step in. Just where do you kind of see their minutes maybe expanding?
I think everyone's going to have to take a step up with some of the minutes, and for us, like, it's a great opportunity to get some of these young guys some experience. And I look back at their season; they've been thrown in the fire at times where they've gained some valuable minutes, and now the time for that to show and them to start looking like sophomores and juniors. And I think that's the exciting piece for all these guys, is to kind of show the different lessons they've learned, and let's see how those translate in the crown.
Last time we saw you guys, Dane obviously had to leave with injury. Are you expecting him to be able to play in this game?
That's the plan. No, these guys get a few days and get rested up, and it's nice that the sun's out today, and I think we'll see a good version of these guys.
Third separate trip to Vegas in one season to play for you guys. That's got to be a record. Tell me just about the experience of playing there. Do you guys ever get time to kind of see the sights at all?
For the conference tournament, honestly, no. We did have a couple guys that stayed after because it was our last game before winter break, and some of these the international guys, like Ethan Price, brought his family to Vegas for the conference tournament. And I remember when we were recruiting Ethan 4 years ago, that was one of his mom's bucket list things, was go to Vegas and see what that's all about. And so it's cool for these guys to see that. We're taking more of a fun approach to this trip, and we're getting there a day early, and we'll go out and have a good dinner on the Strip and show these guys a good time, I think.
Do you have any spots in mind to visit?
I'm leaving that up to our assistants. I'm just along for the ride on those.
Yeah. Well, I know your focus is here and now, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask about the two guys that have hit the portal. What was your reaction to Isaiah and Nate, making that decision? I think it's a new day and age of college basketball. There's some opportunities out there for all these guys, and we got to have those conversations. And each of those guys did a lot for this program. Love the hell out of them, and excited for their future. It's just kind of the world we live in now.
The portal being what it is, the timing of it. Yeah, what would you like to see changed as a coach?
I could go a lot of different directions with that question. I think that there's a lot of great things about NIL and these guys being able to get paid, but I think there's a ton of value in being able to develop at places for multiple years and having a long-term vision. People talk about 4 or 5 year goals all the time. Like a lot of people will overestimate what they can get done in 1 year and underestimate what they can get done in 4. And I think that's the beauty of college and what it was for the last few years, is you have this time to really grow as a person. And I'd like to see there be some changes to that where we can have a little more consistency. But at the same time, these kids are getting great opportunities, and we're just pretty lucky at the end of the day to be able to coach and play college basketball. And it's still a game, and we're able to go down to Vegas and play in a really cool tournament, and just trying to stay focused on that.
I know it's been a while since you guys have played a game, but does it help now that you have the changes to actually have some time to get some guys acclimated to some new roles they're going to have?
For sure. There's a lot of different things that I feel like we've put in. Year one, you got to put in a million things. Your culture's got to get established, and it's kind of cool the last 2 weeks to be able to work on a few wrinkles, try a few new things out, and see how they look.
New tournament and such. What were your kind of expectations for what you want to accomplish out of this with your club?
I think for me personally, it's just I want to keep pushing the culture, and our culture is we want gym rats, we want hoopers, we want guys that want to get better. Like, let's be honest, every single one of these guys that have been in the program, they're all gym rats. They would all be playing pickup basketball at some point over the next couple of weeks. Like, this seems a little cooler than that, and let's go have fun and make sure we're grateful and appreciative that we just get to go play basketball.
Do you have a pretty good idea of what you want to do with your lineup and what you're going to do in this first game?
I think we're still figuring out how things look. Like we've really just kind of taken this as like a developmental approach last week, where we want to get the guys in the gym, work on a few things individually, and kind of some small group stuff. This is the first week we'll really get to the 5-on-5, and so we've got to wait and see how a few things look.
Obviously with the tournament being late, it is kind of unique scheduling-wise to where, as you said, the portal's now been open 2 days. I mean, how do you kind of find that balance of, having conversations with the guys about their futures, pursuing potential portal players, and then also still preparing to play a game?
It's busy. Like I think it's fun for me as a coach. I try to look at it like there's never a month that's the same. Every month is something different, and we got to go recruit players in the portal and really try to like dive in and get to know these people as humans over like a week, which is crazy in and of itself. And that's a fun time to get to meet new people and try to appreciate that while also just staying focused on our guys. Like one thing I talk to our staff about every day, just prioritizing the guys in the program. We're going to be built on development, and yes, we want to go recruit. We need players and all this, that, and the other, but these guys can see a lot of improvement during their time here. We just got to stay focused on that and keep the main thing the main thing.
And those are two things, between portal recruiting and then kind of re-recruiting the roster. Those are two things you do have to start before the games, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we've had those conversations, and I think we're just making sure that everyone understands what the vision is for their future. And it's become super transactional, and my goal, it's just the whole college basketball deal. My goal with these guys is to make sure they're still focusing on their development. Like that's why you go to college as a student, as a basketball player, and I just want to make sure that we're keeping that in front of them as much as we can.
Georgetown's 2 post players. One's out for the year, one's in the portal. Is that something you feel like you guys can maybe weaponize, with them being down a couple big bodies?
I mean, we're kind of waiting and seeing. I'm going to give it a couple more days before we really dive into like the exact game plan, just because of the fluidity of all this. Like, I don't know. There's like 1,000 people in the portal already, so we'll see what that looks like, and I'm sure there'll be pros and cons to that. We better get ready for some presses and in different ways they're going to try to pressure us, and I think it'll be a fun game. That'll be a really unique deal because there will be these changes personnel-wise.
So what was the process of getting involved with the Crown, and what made you want to play that tournament?
Really just kind of looked at the options that we had after the, it's tough. Like you're so set on the NCAA tournament, that's all you're thinking about for the last 11 and a half months, I guess. And so when that opportunity was gone, we looked at the NIT and this, and they were 2 amazing tournaments, and this is the one that we ended up being able to play in.